Mambo Jumbo, I did redstone for the Minecraft movie, and I just want to say that Mambo Jumbo is one of my favorite YouTubers, really.
Major Minecraft movie spoilers inbound. Consider this your 5-second warning. If you choose to continue watching after this point, that is entirely your fault, and you need to live with your silly life choices.
Like, I can't believe that he actually, like, Mambo Jumbo made it, like, from YouTube all the way down to, like, doing, like, help with a movie in Hollywood. It's pretty crazy.
Minecraft movie. Some of you may have recognized me. Hopefully many of you didn't, because, oh my goodness, did the costume department and the makeup department do a number on me. But
he was in the movie?
Many of you didn't, because...
No, that's not him. That's the guy from, I don't like this movie where he's a mermaid or something. And is that Mambo Jumbo? No way.
Because, oh my goodness, did the costume department and the makeup department do a number on me. But as many of you may not know, unless you're really committed to reading the credits, I also helped with the pre-production of the Minecraft.
This is cool. This is cool.
Doing some idea formulation.
They actually took like a guy that knows about Minecraft to do Minecraft Redstone.
Creating concept,
the king of Redstone.
And helping Jared's ridiculous ideas actually function in the game. By the way, Jared Hess is the director of the Minecraft movie. He also directed one of my favorite films, Napoleon Dynamite.
Insane.
Which is why I'm wearing my Mumbo for Mayor t-shirt. So let's start things off with Midport Village. The first scene that I got from Jared Hess was the crew walking through the village, and Steve is pointing out various ridiculous builds that he's constructed. And the key here is ridiculous. These were meant to be fast visual gags, things that the camera can hover on.
Like, I still haven't watched the movie. I really want to watch it
for a couple of seconds as Jack Black announces what it is, confused faces from the crew, and then move on. Wow, the last time I opened this world was nearly 2 years ago. Oh yeah, I forgot about this thing. This is meant to be my lightning-powered chicken cooker, and yeah, as you can see, it's impractical. It is impractical, but it's working well. So we've got Brian the house robot, who is utterly useless in every single way. A little pointless machine that a baby villager
oh my god, it's like the real thing.
A squid juggler, but unfortunately, yeah, the squids don't survive very long in this contraption. This is the chicken fall, which is...
This is absolutely, like, horrible.
Incredibly morbid.
This is a genocide.
She put in quotes above this video clip. This is the overrun from my chicken farm. Thought I'd make a feature of it. The lava chicken song would have hit very different if this was actually in the movie. The donkeys riding bats, experiment chamber, Minecraft inside of Minecraft, and the infinitely hungry monkey. So I guess now's a good time to say you don't recognize any of these builds because that scene got completely changed. And to be extremely clear, that's the point. I was hired as someone who would prototype a ton of builds and a ton of concepts and throw a bunch of ideas at the wall and see if any of them stick in any meaningful way, knowing full well that 99.99% of them wouldn't. But on the topic of things that stick, let's take a look at some Minecraft traps. Jared and I were talking on the phone and we were spitballing ideas on how we could use cactus in a trap. And Jared said something along the lines of, what if we could just shoot the cactus at someone? Which I personally found hilarious. So then I created these two machines here. This one's a nice and simple one. Someone walks over the pressure plates and cactus get fired out. I also gave this alternative.
I don't know like how like Mambo Jumbo does this with like without any YouTube help, and needs the YouTube help that everybody's sick.
Which involves slime blocks and fires the cactus at a much higher velocity. And this actually ended up in the movie. While they're down in the redstone mines, Jason Momoa steps on a pressure plate, activates the cactus launchers, and gets absolutely nailed. And while I was in New Zealand, they allowed me to actually test the magnetic cacti that stick to metal plates that go under your clothing. Now, after Jason Momoa gets hit by a bunch of cactus, he then walks onto a slime block and gets launched up into the air. Now, one thing that we did play around with is Jason Momoa being bounced off a ton of different slime block launchers before hitting the ground, but the single hit ended up working better. I did design a few other traps which were almost meant to get Jason Momoa, but
I think that if like Mambo Jumbo would like didn't do like YouTube, I think, and he was like a programmer, I think that he was like one of the highest profile programmers in Google or something.
Kind of just about escapes. And I think they work well, but definitely the cactus launchers are the most fun, non-lethal trap. How could piglins fly is how the unexpected phone call from Jared began. This was one of my first ideas, so we've got a piglin in a boat riding on top of a guard.
Did Mambo Jumbo got the updates before everybody else?
Which, to be fair, isn't far off what they ended up going for. Another option that I came up with is a contraption that equips the piglins with elytra, even though they can't put them on themselves, the machine can do it. Or a personal favourite of mine, the piglin fighter jet. Not entirely sure how they could have made this work without really breaking the laws of Minecraft physics, but if they had gone full Top Gun with it, I think it would have been quite a lot of fun. Now, Jared did also ask me to build some things that could add some spice to the in-air fight sequence. Just to be clear, I'm not responsible for the man-sandwiched nose-to-toes situation. So I created these rings, which shoot out fireworks as you go through, some ground-to-air missiles, which could have been activated by one of the crew members that were down on the ground. These things are always quite satisfying. Or a cave with moving barriers. Now, just before the flying starts, there's also a little chase sequence on the ground. So I made a few potential non-lethal decoys. The first one is little pop-up gold towers, which would have distracted the piglins. Or, in a similar vein, a little gold vault that the piglins get distracted by, go inside of, the door closes, and then a muffled explosion is heard. Again, none of this stuff really made it into the movie, but it was very fun to work on. I think now's actually a good point to potentially talk about scale, because as you can see, a lot of the things that I'm constructing here aren't massive. These aren't mega builds, and that's kind of by design. When I was getting the storyboards and when I was speaking with Jared, a lot of the builds in this movie are kind of based around the idea of a dedicated Minecraft player's personal survival world. There's nothing absolutely gargantuan in this. There's nothing that looks like it's taken a build team months to create. It looks like the sort of world that you and your friends would create. And that's kind of the key. All of these builds here are for a scene that was in the early version of the script that eventually got changed. There was a big minecart chase sequence. Jason Momoa and Jack Black get split into different minecarts. They're going through different rail systems. Redstone traps are being activated.
I have to say, like, in the beginning of it, like, when I saw the first trailers, I really said, like, what the hell is this stupid movie? Now I really want to see it.
Piglins are chasing them. It's all...
Like, I don't know if it's good or bad. I'm just, like, every time that I'm watching something, like, giving a bit more and more feeling of, like, yes, I do want to watch it.
Incredibly dramatic. As I say, that scene got massively changed throughout the script writing process, but I do still have some of the original builds. We've got a fairly conventional minecart rail collapse, some TNT minecarts being dispensed and traveling alongside the minecarts before eventually exploding. You can imagine the facial expressions there. A personal favorite of mine is this Minecraft equivalent of the alligator pit trope, but instead of alligators, it's pufferfish. You're just gradually being lowered down into it. We've got the walls caving in, the roof caving in, a complete chaos machine, and of course, a traditional minecart explosion. I was also asked to provide a few more regular Minecraft traps and little visual gags that could be included. So I thought I would include some of the oldest traps in the game, anvil droppers, a bridge where a section of it just
even if I'm building something on Minecraft with redstone, I'm always like looking for like a tutorial of, can you please remind me how do I move the signal up, because I can't remember every time. And how do I do it down? I don't know if it's either I do that or just like staying 1 hour and try to remember by myself. And this guy just knows it. It is in blood.
Anvil droppers, a bridge where a section of it just travels off into the stratosphere, another pufferfish trap, and in the email I said, this could cause a strange, fishy, puffy explosion. I don't know why I wrote that. And yeah, a few other TNT and little trapdoor-based bits. And now it's time to talk about one of the worst moments of my life. To cut a long story short, I scheduled a meeting with Jared as I was flying to the Philippines. I arrived at my hotel. Everything was good up until about 3 minutes before the meeting when the internet dropped out. I couldn't join. I was about 20 minutes late, and even when I did join, my connection was so bad that nobody could hear me and I couldn't hear them. It's been over a year since this happened, and I still think about it quite frequently. Thankfully, Jared and all the producers that were there in the meeting were fine with it, and they sent me over the storyboard and a brief summary of what they wanted me to build. So for those of you who have seen the movie, there's a big battle at the end, and Jared wanted me to build a gigantic walking piglin Trojan.
I mean, of course he would feel bad about it. This is like the biggest highlight of his life. It couldn't be it's a Hollywood movie.
Horse. And this is what I created. As you can see, it matches up quite nicely with the proportions that were sent to me in the storyboard. I even included a little piglin for scale. And this is what it looks like as it's moving. As you can see, it's got this really cool sequence through the body. It's almost like a rippling effect, and then it's got these huge stomping feet. It was so fun to work on this thing. This was one of the first and only big things that I made for the movie. But sadly, they just couldn't quite make the scene work. And it was changed before they even started.
Because it's too weird for the movie, right?
filming. So the gigantic piglin bot never quite managed to make it into the film. However, it's not all bad though. After building the gigantic piglin bot, it then inspired me to make a video on how to make gigantic slime block and honey block based machines, which finished with large scale legs and massive flying machine. And I think this video has had the highest conversion rate of people watching it and then sending me their finished builds out of any redstone video I think I've made on my channel. And that makes me incredibly happy. And it was weirdly indirectly because of the Minecraft movie. So firstly,
Why does people have passion even to do it?
I want to say a huge thank you to Jared Hess himself for actually trusting me with this and allowing me to build things for the movie. It was an incredible experience. Thank you to Torfi for reaching out and getting me involved in this project. Thank you to all of the people involved in the Minecraft movie for bringing some of those ideas to reality. And thank you to all of the people watching who have put me in a position where people like that would even consider asking me to do something like this. That is still completely wild to me.
Because you're the most technical Minecraft person in the world. Like, it's like, it's mumbo jumbo.
So, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!